Alex Berman here from Experiment 27, and this is the four-step process for always getting a budget. One of the most frustrating things that you're going to run into when you start pitching clients, or you've probably already realized this, is how do you make sure people have the right budget, right? The most frustrating experience is when you go for days and days and days, maybe you have multiple calls with somebody, you draft a proposal, and you never hear from them after. Or you hear from them like 2 months later and they say, hey, we went with another firm, you guys are just too expensive for us. Or a little less worse than that, you send them the proposal and they give you a call. This happened to me before. They give you a call and they're like, hey, we really can't make it work for this price. That's the best case scenario here. But the disconnect is clients don't know how much you cost, so you're shocking them when they see the price, and that's why they're having this reaction. So in this video, I'm going to cover how to get their budgets and how to qualify before you spend all the time writing a proposal. Coming up. The first thing, step number one, is always mention the price on the first call. Mobile app developers don't like doing this. You guys say that your apps are all custom, so you can't really figure out a price, which is totally not true. I'll tell you right now, an Uber clone you could sell for $150,000, right? An e-commerce site is probably about $250 to $350 if you want to go all in, or for a smaller site, maybe $50,000. If you want to do a fully custom Instagram style mobile app, that's a little cheaper, maybe $80,000 to $90,000. How did I come up with those prices? Well, I made them up. I've been selling mobile apps for, years. I've been selling mobile apps for years, and I kind of know what things cost. You know even better than I do what your agency charges for apps. You and your salespeople can throw out prices on the phone. That's my main recommendation. That if you're on the phone and you say to somebody that wants to build an Uber clone that it costs $150,000, you'll get an immediate reaction from them. They'll either change their tone and be like, is there anything else you can do? Like, that seems extremely high. Or they'll say, okay, yeah, that sounds good, draft a budget. Like, once that price is on the table, they will either accept it or not. And that actually brings us to the second point. So once you say the budget, you pause, wait for them to say anything. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. First person to speak in a negotiation loses, is somebody's rule. And then you'll ask, does that work? The way that works in practice is, all right, yeah, so I've seen Uber clones. We actually just built a project just like this for a different industry. You guys want to be Uber for dog walkers. We just built Uber for hair cutters. This is a project. There's a lot of components in it. You've got an API, you've got a website front end for it. Then you've got mobile apps for both iOS and Android. So all in, and UX UI designs, obviously research to make sure that this thing works. So what I've seen this go for is about $150,000 to $200,000. Does that work for you? And they'll either say, yeah, that's about what I was thinking. Or they'll say, no, that doesn't work. And then you can pitch other options, an HTML5 app, or even passing it on to one of your partners, because you're building partnerships, right? Passing it on to one of your partners that will do the app for a lot cheaper than you can. So that's the second part. The third step in the process is never send a proposal without discussing the price first. You never want your customer to see the price in an email before you've discussed it over the phone. And what that means is, normally the way I get through that is I'll tell everybody our pricing on the first call. That's the easiest way I've found to do it. Other agencies, they'll set a proposal meeting before they ever discuss the cost. And then during the actual meeting itself, right before the meeting, they'll send the email like maybe 5 to 10 minutes before, and then they can look at the price then when they're already committed to meeting with you. The reason you don't want to show the price over an email is for sticker shock. So basically, if you're charging $150,000 for an app, if a customer sees that and they can't immediately say, oh, that's too expensive, or they can't ask you questions about it, which they won't be able to if it's over email, they'll freak out. And in my experience, you'll lose the meeting. It's close to 100% of the time if you send a price without ever saying it verbally first. So that's that. And then the final step is, during that first call, set a specific time for a follow-up meeting. If they're serious about buying from you, they've thought about their decision-making process, and they'll meet with you again in the future. So the way I like to transition into this is, okay, let's say it's on a call. So how's 150,000 sound? Hey, it sounds great. Okay, cool. What are the next steps? What do you think we need to do? And then they'll say something like, well, I need to talk to my co-founder. Or ideally, if you're talking to SMBs or startups, they'll say, well, we're talking to a couple of vendors this week, but we really need to move on this. Like, I need to get a decision by end of week. Then you can say something like, okay, awesome. What time do you want to meet on Thursday or Friday to talk about this? And they'll either push back on this and say, hey, we don't need to meet. Let's do the back and forth over email. Send me the proposal first. And in the proposal email, you can send them a link to your Calendly. Or they'll say, yeah, that sounds great. And you'll be surprised when you start doing this, how many of your customers are willing to meet in the same week, usually sometimes even the next day. One guy I was just talking to a couple weeks ago said, yeah, send me a proposal. Let's do this. And I sent him the normal bullet points that we have with the buy link. And he's like, send it as soon as possible because I want to get it done. And I was like, okay, cool. Do you want to meet tomorrow then and run through it? And he said, yeah, that sounds great. So you'll speed up your sales cycle a lot doing it this way. So that's the 4-step process for always getting a budget. 1, mention the price on the first call always. Ask, does that work? 3, never send a proposal without discussing the price first. And 4, set a specific time for a follow-up meeting on that first call. And that's it. Let me know in the comments if you've done something similar or if you have any more questions when it comes to budgets or qualifying clients. Would love to know, or post in the private Facebook group for Patreon backers only. Like this video to encourage this type of content. Subscribe to this channel for more B2B sales training. And if you need marketing support for your digital agency, check out experiment27.com. All right, talk to you later.